Hello, testing, testing. Okay, so right now we need to rebuild the links. So we'll be upping this on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook once it gets to share. Hopefully, this will be being shared quite fast with people. So I apologize for that technical issue. And now we're back on live. So let's see if people are actually logging in right now in order to find the new place. So I can see. All right, confirming. Can people hear me here? Sorry about that issue. Okay, so I'm monitoring the chat right now and seeing whether or not any responses are coming in. I see that a few people here. If someone can just type into the chat and see what's happening here, we'll be able to see. Oh, video and audio is working. You can hear. Okay, fantastic. So we're improving our technical setup. So hopefully we have better audio quality as well as better video quality because with the election coming up, we will have to be doing a lot of work to bring family reunification to the forefront and also remind Canadians of the pain that a lot of families went through in the past 18 months. There were a number of missteps, I believe, that happened with the government approach to family reunification, and we cannot let the people forget what had occurred. So that's one of our major things that we need to do, and that's why we're trying our best to improve the video quality, the audio quality. You can't quite improve the quality of David because he's kind of a lost cause, but other than that, here we are. All right, so there are a lot of questions that will come out of yesterday's announcements. So we're here once again to explain how they'll apply to us moving forward and what we'll need to do to really help families come together. For those new, the Faces of Advocacy are a dedicated organization in Canada meant to push for safe family reunification for those who've been separated due to the COVID-19 travel restrictions. Because of all the challenges that we faced, and also because of the campaign that we did to pull us all together, we were directly responsible for the extended family and compassionate exemptions into Canada that were announced in October 2020 by the Government of Canada. So it shows that advocacy does work by pushing forward together. And the reason why I bring that up is it requires the work of every single one of us to make a difference. And so if right now you might be feeling that you're powerless, watching this video, reading our Facebook posts, following our social media will show you exactly what you can do to change things for the better. And we have shown that we can do that before, and we can continue to do that moving forward. Seeing that people are coming in, okay, there's a slight lag, but it may be me. All right, so let's review what came out yesterday during the first minister's meeting with the Prime Minister. Now, since for the past 18 months, the Prime Minister meets with the First Ministers for a discussion in general on how to deal with Canada and the challenges facing Canada due to COVID. What they have done is yesterday, they actually talked about the border in regards to reopening it. And the reporting done on the official government website is that by mid-August, there should be a opening for US foreign nationals coming into Canada as long as they're fully vaccinated. And then for non-US foreign nationals, that should be occurring the next month in September. So overall, that's a nice thing to hear. But the real challenge comes into how to operationalize that, how to actually make that occur. Because as many of you know, there are still a lot of barriers to reunification. So right now, what we have in writing is that by mid-August, US foreign nationals should be able to come into Canada without a need for an essential reason, provided they are fully vaccinated. But in addition to that, the rest of the foreign nationals should be coming in September. Right now, the major reasons people aren't able to come together are one, vaccine availability. For the big four in Canada, there's Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer, and AstraZeneca. These four vaccines aren't available necessarily in the rest of the world. Another issue is the 15-day minimum stay. So there's been a lot of confusion on this, and I thank our Peer Advocates program for trying to deal with this misinformation. We can only state what's on the government website. It doesn't matter necessarily what one border agent or one guy on the phone tells you. On the government website, if you are a foreign national entering Canada, you must stay in Canada for at least 15 days. Okay, that is indisputable. That's written in the orders in council. I understand there are reports of people who've come in who are foreign nationals and left Canada within that 15 days. And then they were able to come back later. That's great. But some people have been denied. And the point is, the rules simply state out that you cannot do that. So for that reason, we're recommending not to do that because it's written down in the orders in council. The 15-day minimum stay is one of the main things that we have to deal with. A second major issue when it comes to reunification is if you have a child who cannot get fully vaccinated, so a breastfeeding infant, and the parents are fully vaccinated, the kid still has to quarantine for 14 days, thus making a lot of trouble for anyone trying to come into Canada who are fully vaccinated. Because even if you're fully vaccinated, you cannot practically reap the benefits of being exempt from quarantine if your toddler is still under quarantine. In addition to that, there's no current plan for temporary residents, so those on a work permit or those on a study permit. And then there's no current family reunification exemption to the hotel quarantine for those who are partially vaccinated or those who cannot get vaccinated. These four main things, the 15-day minimum stay, the children being unable to get vaccinated issue, those who are partially or unable to vaccinate, and finally temporary residents, these are the four main issues that we're pushing right now. So with the announcement yesterday that fully vaccinated foreign nationals will likely be able to come to Canada by mid-August or September, if they're still beholden to these rules, it'll have a big problem for those who are unable to get vaccinated, those who are partially vaccinated, those who are children, and those who cannot stay for 15 days. So this is where we have something called Reunification Thursday. Every Thursday, you can find us on Facebook, where we actually write out very specific steps for people to do. Your Canadian family member will actually call the member of parliament who is in that postal code, and we give very clear instructions. Call them, talk about these four things. If you want, you can email as well. But we found that at these calls, you're more likely to get a response because a lot of people have emailed and nothing's come back. If we all work together and continually press the members of parliament, they at least know that this is an issue that will affect voters. And given the upcoming supposed election, this will probably have a lot of sway. The next order in council, so the travel restriction, renewal will occur on July the 21st. And given the information we know, this will not be an opening of any border, including the US border or the other borders into Canada. That means we still have to push very hard for the 15-day minimum stay, children, temporary residents, and those who are partially or unable to get vaccinated. These are huge things when it comes to family reunification. I realize there are many of you who have anecdotal stories of, I left and no one bothered me, or, I let my kid outside. These are not the things that we want to do. We want it in writing that it's okay. Because a lot of us are going to want to reunite with our family members in Canada permanently. And we do not want to risk any damage to our future permanent resident application, a spousal sponsorship application, or a work permit or something like that. So it's not worth the risk in that regard. We have to do this properly. So that's what Reunification Thursdays are about. And I'm hoping that anyone watching here is already used to Reunification Thursdays. But if you're new, find us at facebook.com/Faces of Advocacy and find a step-by-step guide on how to advocate for change. Arguably, sure, we could wait until August to see what happens to the Americans and following that, the other foreign nationals. But if the 15-day minimum stay is still there, if the toddler is still lacking exemption, we're going to have a lot of problems when coming together for family reunification. Also yesterday, you might have learned just today, you might have learned that the national interest exemption came in for Major League Baseball. National interest exemption are the same exemptions that the NHL players came in last year before family reunification was a priority to the government. And now it's happened again with the MLB. Now, here's a real kicker. If you want to talk to your member of parliament and be a little bit upset over this, I can understand it. They also have a plan for those in the Major League Baseball who are coming to Canada who are unvaccinated. They actually have a plan for them. And yet for families, there's no plan for those who are unable to vaccinate. This is really upsetting. Our director of operations, Sean, he brought up a good point. He says, well, at least in baseball, they'll have one glove. Maybe that'll stop the spread of COVID. I have no idea. All right. In regards to if you want to support the campaign, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/faces of advocacy, buymeacoffee.com/faces of advocacy. If you can donate, it helps us a lot. It helps us continue operations. And if you can't, that's okay. We're still here advocating with you, pressing forward. If there's one thing that you can do right now, and that's subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe to our Twitter, subscribe to our Instagram, subscribe to our Facebook and our LinkedIn. This allows us to have more numbers and to communicate with you. And so we say, if you can't donate, educate. If you can't educate, then advocate. If you are able to help, we have someone named Kara Harris in our Facebook group, that's Kara, who's organizing our peer advocacy program. And what we want are people to read our training manual that I wrote with the team. And this will give the most up-to-date information on how to help other people and stop misinformation. Because if a family goes to the border with the wrong information and gets denied, I personally feel that very strongly on myself. And I want us to be able to help each other. We don't want more misinformation to come out. All right, so let's go into question and answers. The 15-day minimum stay must go. What do different color stickers on the CBSA passports mean? I read stories about travelers with green stickers being forced to quarantine and others let in without quarantine, same for blue. So I can only speak for myself, but I had, I don't know what color sticker, but my sticker was I'm exempt. The reason I was exempt is because I was, I work I'm a family physician, so therefore my work was considered essential, and so the sticker I got put me through. I can try to find my passport right now. I don't know what color sticker AJ had, but anyway, the point is the different color stickers are those who are exempt from the hotel quarantine and those who are not. So I can't tell you which colors they are, but more importantly is when you approach the border, be prepared and be able to stand your ground. This is a very big thing because some CBSA officers have misled people by saying they're not exempt. As of right now, as of July the 5th, if you are a fully vaccinated foreign national family member of a Canadian, so that's immediate or extended family, you are exempt from the hotel quarantine if you have one of the big 4 vaccines: AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer, if you are fully vaccinated with that. So do not let anyone mislead you. Some MPs have told us the wrong thing. Don't listen to them. Follow the orders in council. Follow what's written on the website. I have included on our website, facesofadvocacy.com/useful-links, a letter that you can bring with you to the border that specifies everything that we have learned about being exempt from the hotel quarantine as a fully vaccinated foreign national family member. My real name is David, but thank you. That we have a wonderful team who's been doing all this wonderful work. How long does it take back to hear from the IRCC? You should hear back within 14 business days. If you don't hear back after over 21 business days, contact me, poon@facesofadvocacy.com. Send me the day that you applied, the email that you applied with, and your IMM006E, as well as whatever other information that you have sent in, because we should not be having people exceeding 21 business days of wait. Yeah, there's a lot of confusion and misinformation. I got a haircut. I did. Like I said, we need to improve our operations, and that starts with this terrible hair of mine. Stephen Husick says, Husick family, don't know if it's Stephen. What each border guard says, nothing. Yes. Do not go with whatever some other guy comments and says the border guard told them. That is dangerous. That could adversely affect you and have repercussions later on. We have to go with what's written in the orders in council and on the official government website. That's why we got to push on it. Okay. Will unvaccinated foreign visitors be allowed to enter with a quarantine required, or will they simply be banned from entry? So foreign visitors are not allowed into Canada. If you are here for a non-essential reason, like to go visit Banff or Sault Ste. Marie or something, a foreign national will be denied. You need an essential reason to visit, or be an immediate or extended family member. If you are an immediate or extended family member and you are not vaccinated, you will be subject to hotel quarantine when you arrive into Canada. So what that simply means is you'd be under the old rules. If you are a fully vaccinated foreign national family member of a Canadian and you have fully vaccinated on one of the big four, you'll be able to come in without hotel quarantine. Do not let a single person tell you otherwise. We have the proof, we have the evidence. I confirmed it independently with the Ministries of Public Safety, IRCC, which is immigration, health, as well as the Deputy Prime Minister's office. I have it in writing. Do not let a single person mislead you. It is very upsetting. And we will come back for this later on in dealing with immigration having no oversight. Right now, though, protect yourselves and do this properly. Okay, so if people are taking a long time to get their extended family exemptions over 21 business days, email me at poon@facesofatvocacy.com. There are many Kara Harris on Facebook. How can I find the right one? Very good point. Kara, if you're in the chat, please put your Facebook link there. Afterwards, I'll put the proper link underneath the description of the video. Okay. The MLB exemption is horrible. With hockey, they spun it that just Canadian teams are playing each other. With MLB, the Jays will be coming and going with all the other teams coming each week. It's very upsetting. Right now, with the election looming, I'm guessing this will be brushed under the rug, but we must not let it be forgotten when it comes to the election, when it comes to the now. We cannot let our government think that voting Canadians will easily forget and they don't pay attention, because quite simply that is being completely dismissive of our concerns. Okay, I'm glad you got a haircut too, Julie. David, your hair looks great. I can see your face much better now. I appreciate that. That means my hair was terrible before. Okay, thank you. But my question about foreign visitors was about the new rules from August or September. When they say open to vaccinated travelers, does it mean non-vaccinated will be banned completely? So I don't have an answer for you. What I can say is what was written and reported on the official government website from the first ministers' meeting on July the 15th is that by mid-August, fully vaccinated U.S. travelers will be allowed to enter Canada for non-essential reasons. I have no idea if that will mean anything but that. My best guess, though, is if you're not fully vaccinated, you will not be allowed to enter Canada if you're a foreign national. So that's the best I can tell you right now. I strongly do not think that there will be any exemptions for non-vaccinated travelers into Canada in August. Thank you very much for being here, supporting. If you're able to, please, like we say, if you can, donate. If you can't, then educate by joining our peer advocacy program. If you can't do that, then advocate. At least call your MP or your Canadian family member's MP and tell them to address the 15-day minimum stay, the fact that toddlers are still subject to 2-week quarantine, the fact that temporary residents have no reasonable pathway towards family reunification, and the fact that there's no exemption to the hotel quarantine for those who are partially or unable to vaccinate when it comes to family. These types of things should be dealt with because even the government's own scientists have stated that the hotel quarantine should be abolished. These are the major issues that we have to deal with now. Has there been any updates or support from the officials regarding the 15 minimum stay? My MP showed little to no interest. Okay, so Jasmine, remember your MP showing no interest? When it comes to the election, the Face of Advocacy will have a huge campaign to show MPs how wrong it was to ignore Canadians. This is a significant problem and we cannot let that slide. So that's number one. Number two, though, is if there's interest. So I've spoken directly to the IRCC, Health, Deputy Prime Minister's Office, and Public Safety. The 15-day minimum stay, according to IRCC, is a public safety and health issue. I'm waiting for confirmation from Public Safety and Health, but I'm fairly certain that's correct because the 15-day minimum stay is a measure to prevent travelers from coming in too short. So on your question of is there actually interest, the ministers are definitely hearing our concerns, and some MPs have actually said this is nonsensical because the 15-day minimum stay made a lot of sense when it has a 2-week quarantine for COVID. But now that that 2-week quarantine is null, given the vaccination status, the ministries seem to have understood that this is a nonsensical thing. I think it was an oversight. Irrespective of that, we have to push it, because if it was an oversight, they should have never overlooked it. And if it's on purpose, it is wrong to separate families. So if you can, join us at facesofadvocacy.com or find us at facebook.com/facesofadvocacy and call your MP, write your MP, do it every week, because this 15-day minimum stay, the toddler issue, those on temporary resident visas, and those who are partially or unable to vaccinate, these people need a pathway towards family unification as well. I've noticed a lot more negativity in the FOA comments lately. It makes me feel like people aren't appreciative of all you guys have done. I want to say thank you for everything. Thank you, Allison. It means a lot to me, because sometimes I have to admit that the team gets pretty drained from people being absolutely rude to our exemptions and not being very kind to what we've worked together, all of us, including yourself. If you're able to, please join us in the peer advocacy program, because we need to deal with misinformation. We need to educate people. They're afraid, they're scared, I get it, but we need to work together in order to succeed, particularly when the election comes around, which could very well be the first week of August. There are a lot of hopeless and frustrated people. This is devastating and causing so much unnecessary stress. You are all angels and so appreciated. Thank you. Please join us at the peer advocacy program if you can. This might be a silly question. I'm driving to Alberta from Michigan. Once I cross into Manitoba with a 3-year-old, we need to stay in a hotel. We'll discuss. When you're driving, the hotel quarantine never affected you. So you can drive into Canada. There's no hotel quarantine. Please understand that. So I see no more questions in the chat. I'll be doing the live soon enough. But thank you very much for your time. Follow our social media, subscribe. Please send this video to 2 people that you know that are affected. There are so many people who are affected. We're hoping to grow our YouTube to 2,000 by the end of August. And our Facebook group could always use more people to help educate one another. If you're able to, please join our peer advocacy program. And if you can find us at buymeacoffee.com/facesofadvocacy to donate. Much appreciated for your time. Thank you very much for joining. Send this video to someone and hopefully we can help more. We're going to build hope for a post-COVID world.